We are coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios in the heart of Johannesburg. This is Prime News on SABC 3. And here's what's dominating in your leads at this hour.
I do not know Mr. Katiso Molefe. I was not contacted by Mr. Katiso Molefe.
Former Hawks boss Dr. Godfrey Lebeya has denied allegations that the Hawks were deployed to the 6th of December Operation Takedown of Katiso KT Molefe in order to interfere in the legitimate operation. Suspended EMPD Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi has been served with a fresh warrant of arrest relating to fraud and corruption charges tied to the controversial blue light case involving tenderpreneur Vusmuzi Kat Matlala. And Western Cape Police say more members will be deployed to Knysna to ensure the safety of the community. We bring to you primetime action right here on Prime News on SABC 3. Good evening and welcome to it. My name is Beki Mutumomolete and your sign language interpreter with me today is Fortune Madlala. A pleasure it is to be back with you again. Let us get into the day's biggest stories that impact our world, starting off with your leads. Former Hawks boss Dr. Godfrey Lebeya has denied allegations that the Hawks were deployed to the 6th of December Operation Takedown of Katiso KT Molefe in order to interfere in the legitimate operation. Lebeya, who took to the stand today to testify on the events that were described as chaotic and confrontational, charged that he does not know Molefe, an alleged cartel member who is an accused in the murder of Vereniging engineer Armand Swart.
Mission circled back to the 6th of December 2024 Operation Takedown of alleged cartel member Katiso KT Molefe. But this time from the vantage point of the high-ranking cop that issued out the instruction which informed the Hawks' presence at the scene. Former Hawks boss Dr. Godfrey Lebeya. Lebeya, however, charges that his deployment did not happen with the hopes of interfering, adding that he does not know Molefe.
I do not know Mr. Katiso Molefe. I was not contacted by Mr. Katiso Molefe. I was contacted by Malcolm X. I directed 2 senior managers to verify the allegations of persons who were said to be claiming to be members of the DPCI and to have been sent by me. I have never instructed the members of the DPCI to interrupt a legitimate police operation.
Lebeya cited the impersonation of Hawks officers as the allegation that triggered the deployment, adding that if he had been informed of the said operation by its custodian, Lieutenant General Dumsani Khumalo, the events could have been avoided.
If Lieutenant General Khumalo had informed me as the national head of the DPCI then, the situation would not have occurred. It is unfortunate that he cited the issue of trust.
The hearings continue. Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Pretoria.
The suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department Deputy Chief, Julius Mkhwanazi, has been served with a 5th warrant of arrest. This is in relation to the blue light saga that involves Vusmuzi Kat Matlala. He appears at the Germiston Magistrates Court tomorrow, facing fraud and corruption charges. And the case involving him and 5 other accused before the Brakpan Magistrates Court for the alleged murder of businessman Emmanuel Mbenze was postponed earlier today to the 3rd of September for further proceedings.
I've told you we don't have the charge sheet, so we can't really say what the averments are. We've been told it's fraud. That's what the J50, the warrant for his arrest, reads. It's fraud and corruption. So tomorrow they will have to give us the charge sheet. We'll have a bit more narrative on the charges. But it's, I'm told by the investigating officer, the so-called blue light problem.
So essentially it seems like added?
No, because they are different accused. Remember, we're saying that there are 2 further accused suspects being added to Mr. Mkhwanazi. So they differ from the people who are appearing in Germiston on the old matter. So there will be a separate case where he will be appearing and have to apply for bail.
The ANC still plans to submit its local election candidates list to the IEC today. Party spokesperson Mahlengi Bengu says a special NEC meeting is now sorting out the issues of gender on all provincial lists. Regarding the troubled Eastern Cape, the NEC says the province's PEC representatives are present to help clean up the list. And Happy Party members have sent a legal letter to the ANC threatening to interdict the lists.
Are confident that it will become clear when we go to the ground following this meeting that ratifies the list that we are present in every municipality, in every district. We're currently looking at how the balance looks like in terms of gender representation to ensure both meaningful, substantive and descriptive representation of women in the ANC list, making sure that there's substantive representation of young people in the list. The list is balancing. We're currently looking at the third province. I'm sure by now we have moved on to the fourth province. We've already looked at the province of Mpumalanga, where the list is balanced. We've looked at the province of Limpopo. We've looked at the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We are continuing. We anticipate that come the last province where we have a broader discussion that indeed our list will meet the test. And the test is contained in the rules by the Electoral Committee of the ANC and the candidate selection guidelines. Into the future, I'm likely to be asked about cases where there may be disputes. The ANC has a very well-established dispute resolution mechanism.
To this now, Western Cape Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Sizakele Dyanki, says more members will be deployed to Knysna to ensure the safety of the community. His comments come a day after police task team member, Captain Zamani Mzaiya, was shot dead in a shootout with a suspect yesterday. A week after the shooting of Knysna's former mayor, Aubrey Tsengwa, and two other ANC members.
Have poured in for slain policeman Captain Zamani Mzaiya. He was shot and killed in an operation involving illegal firearms. Mzaiya, who leaves behind his wife and 4 children, was part of several high-risk operations.
Just on the 16th of August this year, he was part of the tactical response team that responded to a standoff between police and a gunman in Robertson.
Police task team members have been in Knysna since last week. They're investigating the killing of former Mayor Aubrey Tsengwa, former ANC councillor Mandla Matiwani, and taxi boss Mandla Chololo. In 2018, another ANC councillor, Victor Molosi, was also gunned down. The issue of illegal firearms is the focus of operations.
Knysna have firearms that are prevalent, illegal firearms that are prevalent in terms of this area. Hence, we are appealing to the community, or to call the community, that wherever that they have a kind of information of the firearms or someone who is having firearm that is illegally, they need to come forward.
The Knysna municipality held a memorial service for Tsengwa. 3 accused in connection with Tsengwa's murder will make their second appearance in court on Monday. Tsengwa, Matiwane and Chololo will all be laid to rest this weekend. Segwi Chetty, SABC News, Knysna in the Western Cape.
When we come back, the British Zimbabwean man Ndodana Mkhwanazi Chuma remains in custody after his case was postponed for further investigation and tracking the progress of international paperwork for extradition processes. We have this and more coming up after the break. Welcome back from the break. The Constitutional Court has reserved judgment in a legal battle over who holds the power to set South Africa's value-added tax rate. This as the Democratic Alliance sought the court to declare the VAT Act of 1991 invalid and to instruct Parliament to amend its laws to ensure that the power to set VAT only sits with Parliament and not the executive.
Arguments have concluded in the Constitutional Court over the legality of the Minister of Finance's power to adjust the VAT rate without prior parliamentary approval.
The legislative process ensures that we all have our say and that all issues and perspectives are considered and debated in public. That process ensures that on issues that affect us all, better decisions are taken and that those decisions are legitimate.
But this was challenged by the Finance Minister's lawyer.
The first purpose behind Section 7.4 is to foster sound fiscal administration. It allows for short-term adjustments to the VAT rate to be announced in tandem with the national budget, ensuring coherence between revenue planning and expenditure priorities. The second purpose is it enables responsive fiscal management.
SARS has asked the Constitutional Court to review and overturn the Western Cape High Court's decision on the invalidity of the VAT Act.
This had to be measured not only against the three requirements of the tax system, equity, efficiency and progressivity, but also the principle of what is referred to as the social state.
Outside the Constitutional Court, members of the Democratic Alliance staged a demonstration while their matter was being heard.
VAT impacts the lives of every single individual and impacts particularly the poor who have to put food on the table.
I'm Katlego Rodi for SABC News at the Constitutional Court in Johannesburg.
A British Zimbabwean man and husband, Ndodana Mkhwanazi Chuma, accused of killing his wife and two daughters in the UK, remains in custody after his case in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court was postponed for further investigation. He faces a local South African charge for the possession of an unlawful firearm, alongside ongoing extradition proceedings requested by the United Kingdom.
That your matter is adjourned until the 8th and the 10th of September 2026. What will happen now is that yourself through your legal representative, you will hold your consultation as far as the plea in terms of Section 105, capital letter A of the Criminal Procedure Act. Then when you come back on the 8th, if that is successful, then we will proceed from there onwards. Thank you. So for now, according to the court record, again, you are in custody. You have abandoned your right to apply and be released on bail. You will be kept as such, brought again before this court on the 8th of September 2026.
The Eastern Cape boxing fraternity continues to mourn the loss of two-weight world champion Zolani Tete. A memorial service was held in his honor at Nangoza Jebe Hall in New Brighton in Gqeberha this evening, a venue where Tete himself fought during his career. The service brought together boxers, promoters and members of the community to remember the champion and reflect on the legacy he leaves behind.
One thing about him that he showed us is a discipline. He was a disciplined boxer. He was a very talented boxer. And we were still looking at him to bring more of the titles that he was holding and in other, federations, to fight also in other federations like IPF and the WBAs, bringing it here in the soil of Eastern Cape. So we saw it, fitting that we bring it here at Centenary Hall, giving the people of Port Elizabeth, the Nelson Mandela Metro, boxing-loving people, to come together and convey a message of condolences to the family of Tete and the people of Eastern Cape at large.
When we return, Nepalese authorities continue the search for survivors after a devastating flash flood triggered by a massive collapse of ice, mud and rock into a mountain river. More on this coming up after the break. Thank you for staying with us. An investigating officer in the death inquest of anti-apartheid activist Steve Biko, Sergeant Fundiswa Dingiswayo, has explained the many challenges in the probe into the death of Biko while in police custody. She took to the stand at the High Court in Gqeberha today, detailing how she received 12 different files containing the various documents, statements and newspaper clippings relating to Biko's death and the subsequent inquests that followed back in 2021. Later to struggle to get her own affidavits from various persons of interest.
Not be served because Mr. Ndlovu has since passed on in April 2026. I was also able to trace Dr. Kili. Dr. Kili was approached by Dr. Hesh and Dr. Lang, explaining the situation of the patient then, and they requested assistance on how to treat him.
They required an opinion?
Yes, an opinion, sorry. The subpoena is issued for Dr. Kili. But unfortunately, the address that Dr. Kili gave and was found then when his statement was obtained, that was back in 2023, if I'm not mistaken, the address here in Summersrand, he no longer resides there.
Authorities in Nepal are continuing the search for survivors after a devastating flash flood triggered by a massive collapse of ice, mud and rock into a mountain river. At least 165 people are feared dead, while more than 1,000 remain missing across Nepal and neighboring China. The U.S. Geological Survey says seismic activity, initially believed to be an earthquake, was actually caused by the catastrophic collapse of glacial rock and ice.
These are scenes that have horrified the world as the flash floods and a huge mudslide tore through the Nepal-China border region. The natural disasters washed away houses, roads, hotels and border infrastructure. The South African aid group Gift of the Giver says it's keen to lend a hand as soon as they get the green light.
We contacted the tour operator who said another South African couple is also missing, several international tourists, and even Nepalese tour operators. He mentioned that the floods were totally devastating and washed away thousands of houses, businesses, and malls.
The South African authorities are verifying the number of its citizens who were affected in the disaster.
I'm here to give a brief update on the awful floods we have seen in Nepal and Tibet, horrific images that Australians have seen overnight, and as I said this morning, the loss of life and the scale of the destruction is devastating.
These are such distressing scenes coming out of Nepal, and we feel for the people there and everything that they're going through.
This mudslide disaster has caused significant casualties and left people missing in both China and Nepal. China extends its sincere sympathies to the government of Nepal and to those affected by the disaster.
Kylie Khumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.
To sports now. The trial of South African Football Association President Danny Jordaan and his three co-accused for fraud and theft charges is set to begin in November in the Johannesburg Specialized Commercial Crimes Court in Palm Ridge. This pending the outcome of Monday's High Court application hearing in Johannesburg, where the accused lodged a formal request to investigate what they argue as unreasonable delays in the trial. The state alleges that Jordaan used approximately 1.3 million rand of SAFA funds for personal benefit, specifically to hire private security and pay Grit Communications to manage his public image. Jordaan and his three co-accused, former SAFA's Chief Financial Officer, Groni Hluyo, former SAFA Acting CEO, Russell Paul, Grit Communications Public Relations Specialist and Director, Trevor Neethling, are facing fraud and theft charges. After several legal challenges and delays, the matter remains in the pre-trial phase, but the state says it is ready for trial. The accused have pleaded not guilty and are out on 20,000 rand bail each. And now off to the skies we go for a view into what the weather holds in store for us. Our team is waiting in the fold with all the details you need. And your forecast is coming up next.
Good evening to you, and it's time to take a look at all your weather details. We've got partly cloudy skies in the west of the country around the Western Cape and southern parts of the Northern Cape. Clearer conditions overnight in the northern parts of that province, but be on the lookout for cloudy skies on the east coast as well. And through the interior of the east coast provinces, some isolated showers expected in towards Mpumalanga as well as the eastern parts of Limpopo overnight. Johannesburg, the cloudy conditions continue in towards this evening and tomorrow. Friday, we are expecting partly cloudy skies through the northwest province, Gauteng, and in towards Mbombela, where we're seeing some isolated showers in your forecast. KwaZulu-Natal expecting to be cloudy tomorrow, with the Eastern Cape the same. Some rainfall expected in parts of that province, whilst Cape Town is expecting to be dry, but we do have partly cloudy skies in the forecast for you tomorrow. On to some alerts for this evening. Please be on the lookout for the potential of damaging winds. That's on the east coast of South Africa, from Richards Bay southwards towards Mthatha in the Eastern Cape and head towards Friday. We're expecting things to remain the same, with damaging winds on the east coast, but an addition of damaging winds possible with berg winds ahead of a cold front in the Northern Cape and southern parts of the Eastern Cape and Western Cape. Veld fires possible in the shade of red. Cape Town 11 overnight, Gqeberha 15, Durban down to 17, Johannesburg 10, warming up tomorrow to a maximum of about 22 degrees in Johannesburg, slightly warmer of course in Pretoria, 27 expected in Richards Bay, Durban to 26 degrees, Bloemfontein at about 24 tomorrow, Kimberley 27, Uppington warm at 31, Calvinia 32, Springbok 31, Vredendal 32 in the northern parts of the Western Cape. Be on the lookout for windy conditions, of course, through parts of the Northern Cape and northern parts of the Western Cape that could lead to veld fires, all the while as Cape Town warms up to about 23 tomorrow. That's it from me. Have a great evening.
Although the final whistle has blown on our bulletin tonight, we do leave you with a promise of more to come tomorrow evening. Make sure not to miss it. And until then, from all of us, it is good night.